Well, thank you everybody for being here. This is amazing. Thank you so much for the Tokyo Vegan Meetup group. Give them a round of applause. And to our lovely hosts here, Hemp Cafe. I love it. Vegan community is so important. So I am very honored to be here. We will be doing consecutive translation. It may not be exact because I tend to go off script a little bit. So we will see how this goes.
Trying to stop the vegans, but they won't stop us. すいません、マイクロフォンは大丈夫です。
ご招待いただきありがとうございます。今回が初めての日本滞在なのですが、素晴らしい時間を皆さんのような思いやりのある方々と一緒に過ごせることが、これ以上ない素晴らしいスタートだと感じています。
All right, so who am I and how did I end up here? I am a vegan activist. I've been a vegan activist for 15 years and working full-time in the animal rights movement for the last 13 years. And I used to work for a group called Vegan Outreach and then a group called the Humane League. And for the last 8 years, I have been working independently as an animal rights activist who uses social media to create a better world for animals.
ジョン・オーバーグと申します。ビーガン活動家として15年間活動しており、その大半を SNS 上での動物養護活動にフルタイムで取り組んできました。
ちょっと補足なんですけど、ビーガンアウトリーチとヒューメインリーグという2つの団体で仕事もしてきました。過去8年間ビーガンのアクティビストとして活動しています。SNS を使って拡散することが専門としてやっています。
So the reason I am a vegan activist today and dedicate my life to this cause is because of my mom, Karen Oberg. She passed away 10 years ago, almost to the month, and she really instilled a sense of compassion for animals in me right from a very young age. We would take lots of actions for animals, including protesting local deer hunts, and she is the reason that I chose to focus on this issue as my full-time career and life goal.
動物に対する思いやりの心を幼い頃から私に教えてくれたのは母のカレン・オバーグでした。
So, fast forward from my young age loving animals to the year 2009 when I watched the documentary called Earthlings. Can you raise your hand if you've seen the movie Earthlings? All right, for anybody.
アースリングスの映画を見たことある人である。
For anyone who did not raise their hand, do not watch the film now.
手を挙げなかった人は、映画は今は見ないでおいてください。
It is basically like an hour and a half of animal abuse footage, but it is very, very important for non-vegans to see because it exposes the truth about the ways in which animals are being abused behind the closed doors of factory farms and slaughterhouses. And I'm not going to get into the violence tonight that they experience, but everybody in this room knows that farm animals don't live good lives with one bad day. They are essentially suffering from the moment they're born until the moment they're slaughtered. And that is the reason that we all should be focused on this issue. At the very least, we should be eating in a way that reflects these values that we already have. These values that say all animals deserve our love, our compassion, our consideration, and our respect.
2009年。
今これは原稿にないことなのでこれは翻訳するのはあれなので元と用意した後の読み上げますね。
2009年にアースリングスというドキュメンタリーを見て 私たちが食べる動物たちはある一日だけが悲惨だったのではなく、生まれてから屠殺されるまでずっと苦しんでいることを知った。さらに苦しんでいるのは食肉用の動物だけでなく、採卵用の鶏や乳牛も同じだということも学びました。私はもうこれ以上動物にそんなひどいことをするような人々にお金を払いたくないと思い、ビーガンになることを決意しました。
Because after watching this film, it certainly made me realize and ask myself the question, what is the difference between the animals who I loved, whether they were deer in a park or wildlife or the cats and dogs I shared my home with, versus the pigs, the cows, and the chickens suffering behind the closed doors of factory farms? What is the difference? And truly, there is no difference.
私はようやく猫や犬といったペットと豚や牛、鶏といった食用の動物との違いに何の違いもないと気がつきました。
So let me tell you about this pig who I named Terry. So a few years ago in Los Angeles, I was outside a vigil in a slaughterhouse in Los Angeles, and I made eye contact with this pig for 60 seconds. And while I was making eye contact with this pig, who is just moments from entering a slaughterhouse, I filmed this pig. And you can see this video clip on my Instagram. It's one of the tag posts. You'll see it there. And in this video, the pig is just staring straight ahead into the camera. And it's so heartbreaking because they are confused, they are scared. You can see it in his eyes. And so, sadly, moments after this video was taken, this pig was slaughtered and became bacon or ham. And unfortunately, it's too late for Terry, but there is a silver lining here. I've uploaded this video to Instagram, and this video has been seen over 4 million times. And so while it is too late for Terry, it is not too late for the many animals who will not have to suffer the same fate as a result of inspiring people from seeing this video.
この子はテリーです。ロサンゼルスの屠殺場の外で出会いました。私たちは60秒ほど目を合わせました。彼がカメラをじっと見つめる様子を動画に収め、それをインスタグラムに投稿したところ、感動的な内容が多くの人の心を動かし、バズって400万回以上も再生されました。テリー自身を救うことはできませんでしたが、この投稿を通じて彼の存在は人々に伝わり、より思いやりのある生き方を選ぶきっかけとなり、彼の残したものはこれからも多くの人に影響を与え続けるでしょう。
And so I want you all to understand that you are part of a movement like humankind has never seen before. Never in the history of the world have we had this opportunity with social media or SNS where we can reach people around the globe in an instant. It is truly democratizing communication and information. And one of the reasons that people eat animals is because they don't understand what these animals are enduring behind the closed doors of factory farms, behind the closed doors of slaughterhouses. And so you all in this room are part of a new frontier for animal rights.
皆さんはこれまで世界が見たことのないようなムーブメントの一員です。今では瞬時に地球の反対側にいる人にまでメッセージを届けることができます。SNS はまさに動物の権利のための新たな最前線なのです。
So in 2025 so far, posts that I have posted to social media have been seen over 10 million times. And this is not a result of paying to run ads. This has all been done organically for free. I don't have a PhD in social media science. I am not a magician, but I am just a regular person who looked at social media and looked at how people use it. And I have adopted an approach where I have posted content that I know is going to get seen by a lot of people. And so I've really honed my social media strategy, but I'm just a regular person and anybody can do this. And even if you're not reaching 10 million people in 6 months, if you're reaching a few hundred instead of a few dozen, or a few thousand instead of a few hundred, that is a big victory for animals.
2025年に入ってから私の SNS 投稿はすでに1000万回以上再生されています。広告にお金をかけたわけでも SNS に関する専門的な学位があるわけでもありません。ただ他の人たちがうまくいっている方法を観察し、それを自分なりに工夫して取り入れただけです。これは誰にでもできることで、この会場にいる皆さん全員にも可能です。
And so I want everybody to understand that social media activism is essentially about the fact that it's you versus the algorithm. So long gone are the days of chronological timelines where you just post something to social media and it's guaranteed to be seen by whoever follows you. Now you need to have posts that are getting engagement. And so you really have to have an engagement driven mindset when you're using social media, and think with every single post and everything you say on social media, is this actually going to get people to engage with it? Are people going to like it, comment on it, and share it?
時系列で投稿が表示される時代はもう終わりました。今ではあなたの投稿が他の人のニュースフィードに表示されるかどうかは SNS プラットフォームがその投稿に価値があると判断するかどうかにかかっています。つまり投稿が見られるためにはエンゲージメントを得る必要があるのです。ここでいうエンゲージメントとは、いいね、リツイート、リポストといった投稿に対する反応のことです。だからこそ、すべての投稿においてエンゲージメントを生み出すという視点を持つことがとても重要です。
So one of the things that you can do on social media, so maybe at this point you think, hey, social media seems like a good tool to use. You might be wondering what you can actually do. One of the things you can do is take the great content that you already have and post that content for people to see. So many times in life we're doing something and we're like, we recognize how great it is, especially if it revolves around veganism or vegan activism. But it's really important for the people out there to see that content. And so take some of the great content that you are creating and post about it.
まずは自分自身のコンテンツを投稿しましょう。例えば、活動イベントの写真や美味しいビーガン料理の写真、動物と一緒に撮った写真などです。
You can also just share posts from others. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are already great creators and activists out there posting very engaging and important content to be seen. So you can repost other people's content as well. Not everything needs to be original.
すべてを一から考える必要はありません。他の人のコンテンツをリポストすることもできます。最も大切なのは、誰が発信したかにかかわらず、自分がこれは影響力があると感じるコンテンツを広めることです。
I would really recommend scheduling posts in advance with a platform like Buffer. That way you can get all of your creative juices out at once, and it is incredibly efficient and an effective use of your time.
私はバッファーとアプリのことですが、このサードパーティーのツールを使って投稿をあらかじめスケジュールすることをお勧めします。これにより投稿作業が効率化され、一度にまとめてクリエイティブなアイデアを出せるようになります。そして毎回何を投稿するか悩む必要がなくなり、その分 SNS 上でのエンゲージメントに集中する時間を確保できます。
Another thing that you can do is post your origin story. Talk about how you became the activist you are today. Because if people follow you on social media, they care about you. They want to hear about you. They want to understand why you are the person you are today. So talk about that.
他に例を挙げると、例えば、今のあなたが動物養護活動家になるまでの経緯についてお話をする。
Talk about your relationships with animals. Talk about how a particular pet that you grew up with maybe really impacted you, or you came across some animal in the wild and they had a really big impact on you. There are so many different animals that we encounter in our lives who have an impact on us. Talk about those animals.
さらに、あなたやあなたの活動に影響を与えた動物についてお話しする。
Of course, share photos and videos of the great plant-based food that you're eating, like the amazing food here at Hemp Cafe. Again, give them a round of applause. Get people to see that food.
そして、あなたが食べている素晴らしいビーガン料理について投稿しましょう。
The most important thing that each one of us can do is to expose the cruelty that animals are enduring, because the vast majority of people really do not know how bad animals have it. Most people think animals live decent lives with one bad day when they're sent to slaughter, but we all know that that is far from the truth.
ここで一番大切なのは、現代の工場式畜産や動物農業の残酷さを暴露することです。
Post a blend of different kinds of posts. So both in terms of types of posts, so whether it's photos, videos, text-only posts, polls, and then also the emotions of the post. So post sad stuff like we've talked about, but also post happy stuff like maybe you with animals. Talk about do educational stuff. Do a variety of different kinds of posts, because this is going to keep your audience guessing as to what's coming next, and you're not going to burn your audience out on any one particular type of content.
次に何が起こるのかを予想させて、視聴者を飽きさせないようにしましょう。投稿の種類だけでなく、感情の面でもバランスよく、さまざまな内容を織り交ぜて投稿することが大切です。
And work to empower and inspire your audience. So we have talked a bit about the cruelty that animals are facing in today's world, and it's really, really bad. But don't just bum your audience out, okay? Keep them also feeling like they can do something about it. Keep them inspired.
工場式畜産や土佐地上の閉ざされた扉の奥で動物たちに起きていることは非常に悲惨ですが、同時にあなたの視聴者に力を与え、奮い立たせるよう努めてください。
And don't be overly accusatory. It can be very hard for us to look at the outside world and think, how can all these people be doing this stuff that's so violent towards animals? How can people be turning a blind eye to the cruelty that these animals are facing? But they are on their own journey. And for this reason, we really need to come to them with an open heart, an open mind. And at the very least, do not be rude to these people and do not be accusatory. When is the last time you saw someone being a jerk and you said, I want to be like that person? Probably never. And so it's really important that we talk to people with respect.
非難しすぎてはいけません。今のあなたと同じところにいない人を責めてはいけません。誰もが自分のペースで歩んでいるのです。最後に、誰かがひどい態度をとっているのを見て、あんな人になりたいと思ったことはありますか？おそらく一度もないことでしょう。
Don't post too much or too little. If you post too much, people are going to get annoyed with you. If you post too infrequently, they're going to forget that you exist. So find that happy middle ground.
投稿の頻度はちょうどいいバランスを保ちましょう。投稿が多すぎると人を煩わせてしまうかもしれませんし、逆に少なすぎると存在を忘れられてしまうこともあります。
So as much as I would love to write a novel every time I go to social media to post something, you have to understand that sometimes less is more. People have very short attention spans on social media. And for these reasons, I really recommend not posting too much. Like, keep it short and simple.
人々にビーガンになるべき理由を長々と書きたい気持ちはありますが、SNS ではみんなの集中力がとても短いので、短くてインパクトのあるメッセージの方が効果的です。
Now, when it comes to dealing with trolls and endless debates, don't do it. It's a waste of time. Occasionally, dealing with trolls is fine, but don't make it the thing you always do, because you're going to waste so much of your time on people who don't even genuinely have an interest in hearing you out. So, we all have very limited time and resources on this planet to dedicate to this very, very important work that almost no one is really aware of what's happening to these animals. So our jobs are so important that we don't use our very limited time and resources on wasting away in endless conversation, endless debate.
トロールへの対応に時間を無駄にしないでください。ここで言うトロールとは、SNS 上で悪意のあるコメントをしつこく投稿するなどの嵐や嫌がらせの迷惑行為など、またはそれをする人のことです。時には礼儀正しくやり取りするのも構いませんが、無理に応じる必要はありません。何より相手が理解できない相手である場合に、何時間もやり取りに時間を費やす罠にはまらないようにしましょう。
And I want you all to understand something. So if you are using social media to help animals, and I know that many of you in this room are, I've had conversations with you before this talk about the amazing work that you're doing for animals, you are absolutely making a difference. I promise you. We have to also remember that what we actually see in terms of our impact is only the tip of the iceberg. We are really impacting so many people, and most of the time we just aren't going to hear that. How often do you go and tell the person who made you become vegan that, hey, it was you that made me go vegan? Most of the time that doesn't happen. And so understand that this is a very long-winded way of saying, to understand that you are absolutely making a huge difference when you speak up for the animals on social media.
SNS 上であなたが与える影響の大半は実際に耳にすることがないかもしれません。でも、はっきりと言えるのは、もしあなたが SNS 上に動物たちのために声を上げているのなら、確実に世の中に変化をもたらしているということです。
Arigato.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very
Can we
much.
give it up for our translators?
Yeah.
So amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.